Welcome back to Nickel, in this comic order Classic, Young Classics. This is episode number 26, 28, and Doubleshot 25, 22. Well, we have two omnibuses to discuss here, but in the case of the first one, I've already discussed the first 18 issues published in this omnibus that collected like 40 issues. Yep. We're here discussing issues 19 to 40, along with the very first annual for Namor the Submariner. Yes. And we're also discussing the last book to collect issues from Doom Patrol Volume 2 by Rachel Pollack. Yep, we're discussing that run. It's weird when it gets at. So, in 19, mostly put, like, they're basically more in depth of Cabe Alexander, who just got killed off in the previous issue. And we also see where Desmond, Phoebe's brother, is running through the office building being chased by the Punisher. You're like, what? Why the heck is the Punisher after him? I mean, he's a corporate executive. Why the heck? Because apparently he's involved in illegal dealings. So, in order to avoid Punisher, shooting him, he kills himself. And then his sister celebrates, and then proceeds to buy the Oracle Corporation building. Meanwhile, though, Namor basically tries to search for Iron Fist. Yes. First he deals with Plant Man. Yes, Plant Man. Yes, then he goes to the Kunlun, which has been invaded by this plant alien species. And apparently it's established to be a retcon here that these people gave Plant Man his powers. You know, the silly villain that debuted during the Silver Age. Yeah, a guy who created plants. Now you might be thinking, a plant-based villain from Marvel? Is he a take on Poison Ivy? Kind of, but the only similar they have is they can basically use plants as weapons. That's it. And apparently this alien species known as Atari invaded Kunlun, and then, here's something interesting though. So, they freed a Thunderer, who is a character from the Iron Fist comics, and then they found the citizens of Kunlun surrounded with water, and inside one of those waters, they find Iron Fist alive and well. Now, at this point in time in comics, you're like, wait, didn't he die in the final issue of Power Man Iron Fist? He did, but he didn't. You're like, what happened? So, apparently, it was established via this retcon. The last, half of those issues of the Power Man Iron Fist book, that was not Iron Fist who died. That was an alien posing as him. Yep, they established this retcon that he did that. And it's a great storyline. It gets wrapped up in issue 25. And sadly, but 25 would also be the final issue that John Byrne would do the series. He will continue writing this book into issue 32. Where Namor goes through a transformation, kind of. Becomes very savage, suffering from partial amnesia. And also, Jay Lee takes over the artwork. He takes over issue 26 and leaves issue 40. And this is where he finds out that Phoebe bought the building. And Namor is going to legally challenge her because she was not mentally competent to buy this building because she went insane because she was celebrating the fact her brother was dead. Yes, her own brother, who, by the way, decided to buy off her own husband in order to basically have him divorce her because he got jealous. And apparently had no idea about the fact that she got pregnant. And I think she even offered to basically get her an abortion. I'm like, Desmond, what the heck was your problem? Yeah, basically, you could say the way he was written, the way John Byrne wrote, it's like he deserved to die. Yeah, so Namor goes a little journey for himself. Now, though some of you might be thinking, who takes over this book wrap that John Byrne leaves with issue 32? Who does the remaining issues of this book? Okay, the person who takes over from John Byrne in this book is Bob Harris. Yep. We also have in the very first issue, they kill off the character Master Khan, who is a character who first appeared back in Strange Tales 77. You're thinking, what? Yeah, there was a character named Master Khan who debuted in this issue. Who was a villain for a guy called Hawk Gormy. Yeah, and he gets killed off in this. He debuted back in 1960. Yeah, he was sort of in a way like the best way to describe it. He was like a recurring character in this book. Well, actually, he appeared a little bit like mostly a character from Iron Fist. He was a recurring villain for him, and then throughout the later portion of John Byrne's run, he basically became a recurring character. He still got killed off in issue 33. That was the last appearance. We'll continue here. Sorry about that. So, before we discuss the remaining issues, let's talk about the first annual of the series. And we're to discuss because of Turn the Fenders. Mostly put in the case of the annual itself, it's a multi-story book. The first story, The Order of Submarine, written by Scott Lobdell, art by Vincent Evans. Second story, which is part of the Subterranean Wars, it was one of those annual crossovers Marvel did. Lobdell did that second story with James Fry in the artwork. Third story, Post-Objective, written by Dinah Morsehead and Mike Thomas with Phil Holster on the artwork. And then recognized by Chris Cooper with S. Clark Herbert and Dave Hover on the artwork. Yes. Mostly put in the case of the first one, The Origins of Murder. It's just a retelling of Namor's history. That's mostly what it is. Subterranean Wars deals with the villains in the book. The storyline of the first appearance to keep her flame. A one-shot character. It is mostly put just continuing the whole thing with Subterranean Wars. Post-Adventure is basically just a story featuring the Invaders, which they have versions of the Guardians. Red Guardian joins the group. And apparently he was reported dead in an issue of Official Handbook of the Marvel Universe A to Z number 4. Yeah, apparently this was Alexia Surkov's predecessor. Who the heck is that guy? Why, he is also known as the ex-husband of Natasha Romanoff. Yep, he was basically also... the best way to describe him is that he was Russia's Captain America. Day of Reckoning is mostly put just stuff with various teams, but the annual set was really good. But like right after Master Khan is killed off, of course, Dr. Doom appeared in the book too. Oh, it's also revealed in this book that, get this, they also revealed in this book another retcon that Nefertita, Namor's cousin, is a clone of her mother. Because they have the number clones, and they revealed that here with this book. Yeah, Danny Rand becomes a supporting character in this title for reasons. Yeah. He appears here, like, while John Byrne is still writing the book, until issue number 34. Yeah, right afterwards, after he wraps up his time in the book. He also appears in A number 3 of the book, but after issue 34, he is gone. He mostly gets moved over to the Cage book, which the whole point of that is to set up a new spin-off book for the Heroes for Hire. And then we have 35, where Byra gets got. Who's Lord Byra? Yeah, he was a recurring villain from the Golden Age of comics. Yeah, apparently he kind of became a recurring villain. Yeah, this was his... Well, they killed him off in this issue. He came back a couple more times after this. Yeah, he basically got a lot of big role in Saga Submariner, but... Yeah, he was a Golden Age Submariner villain. I guess that Bob Harris has said, hey, let's kill off basically a character. Also, Tiger Shark up here too. Yeah, also this character, Namor is growing his hair really long. There's a woman here also, Artist Grin. Yeah, she is here just for this era, and then she gets killed off in issue 40, which is finally issue Jay Lee's run for the book. Yeah. Mostly put, she's like a, basically almost like a minor incarnation of, well, I should put this. It was Lady Norma. Yeah, and it's like by issue 40, it's like any character who appeared in this book, basically like appeared in this run, yeah, they get sadly killed off. And also, apparently, Bob Harris turned Laura Shanti into a villain. Yep, he did. He turned a villain for reasons. And then, like, he appeared, like, as soon as it's wrapped up on the book, Bob Harris, he appeared a few more times after this, but yeah, it's like appearances were very sporadic afterwards. And it's like, oh yeah, let's have Namor fight the Unforgiven Dead, who becomes kind of in a way the main villains of this run. And by issue 40, they're all dead. Yeah, by issue 40, basically, which is Bob Harris's, which is Jay Lee's last issue for the book. Now, apparently, Jay Lee actually left with issue number 39. They probably put 40 because it's basically the inclusion of the storyline. And, like, 41 is still, it's actually the start of Len Kaminsky's run of the book, which I'll discuss in their time. But that's pretty much the run by John Byrne, Bob Harris, and Jay Lee in the book. I gotta say the John Byrne issues were really good. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I didn't think any issue by John Byrne was bad per se. It just that was kind of weird. Like, why would you leave the book writing duties after only 25 issues where you did Fantastic Four for like 80 issues? Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. I'm like, why Jay Lee? I don't know. It just kind of weird. It's the earliest book I've seen him on. Excuse me. But the annual set was really good. I'm going to give this Omnibus a 9 out of 10. Next up is the Doom Patrol by Rachel Pollack Omnibus, which collects her entire run for the book, starting with issue 64 until the final issue 87. It also collects Totems and Vertigo Jam. Now, Vertigo Jam is a story set during the run, which basically involves something I'll get to. Totems is most of what Doom Patrol hanging out at a party for an issue. That's most what Totems is. But in the case of the main book itself, this is by far, like, read this again, you look at this and you realize, man, this is some of the weirdest stuff I've ever read. Like, by the way, Will Magnus is the start of this run. You're thinking, Will Magnus, isn't the guy who in book created the Mailman? Yep. Yeah, Will Magnus, for some reason, has also been associated with the Doom Patrol. For reasons, under me. So, mostly put, he's working with the Chief. Chief does not like his new body. His puppet body, that he calls it. Then he proceeds to pull off his own head. That is not a joke. He seriously does that. So Will Magnus basically rushes to put him on ice. And the Chief stays like that for the entire run as a freaking head. There's also a thing where a mother basically pops off her own kid's head. And it's like something of a doll. It's like blood in a book. Like, what? It's like, stay there. I gotta get ready for the awards show. What? It's weird. There's also bandaged people in the book. At one point, the Chief basically strapped a woman's belly via tape. There's also a person made of coat hangers. You're like, what the heck book is this? Will this be a transcendent book that you would see nowadays? By the way, this came out in the early 1990s, and this whole book was published under Vertigo. Yes, you're thinking, Vertigo. Is there a swear in the book? Nope. Violence? Nope. Lots of nudity, though. Lots of nudity. Female nudity, mind you. Yes. Roman himself barely plays a role in the book. He's there. He does show up wearing, he wears a shirt now, under his awesome jacket that Grant Morrison gave him. But he doesn't do a lot, per se. And the book ends on a cliffhanger. Where you're wondering, what happened to Doom Patrol? Well, you won't find out until 2001, when John Akinya basically takes over the writing duties of the book for a couple of years. But Rachel Pollack's run as a whole is weird. The artwork's pretty good. I'm gonna give the book roughly the whole run a 8.5. I think it'll be fair rating Pollack because sadly the one passed away a few years ago, and they released Omnibus in last year I think it was. Because here's a fun fact: did you know DC was planning to collect this run as part of the same trades that collected Grant Morrison's run? Yep, that was planned. But then DC canceled it for some reason. Don't know why. And I guess DC must have felt bad about it, so why not just collect the whole run of the Omnibus? Yeah. That's basically the best way to describe it here. So, yeah. So, Doubleshot Volume 2. Final thoughts on this run. Paul Cupber's run was really good. Grant Morrison's run is not overrated. But I do think that you should give soft cover treatments for Paul Cupber's run. Though I think that Grant Morrison's run is basically, it overshadows the previous run for seemingly no reason. I mean, was the Paul Cupber run bad? No. No, it wasn't. Was it inconsistent? No. It was written by a guy who loved the Doom Patrol. Grant Morrison wanted to do something weird with Doom Patrol because they're weird, so why not? Rage and Pollack was we were weird in that. Not really bad with this one per se, but next time I come about Doom Patrol, we'll be starting Volume 3 for the series, because here's the thing. There was a period of like 8 years, no Doom Patrol book. Yeah, next Doom Patrol will go up until 2001. It lasted for about a couple years, and then the book ended due to the most popular reason why the book ends: low sales. Yep. Low sales. It is a similar continuation of this run, but I'll get to that later. As for Namor, when I get back to it, I will talk about the rest of this run because there's not much left to go. Because, well, here's what's left: issues 41 to 46 and 49 to 57. That's all that's left to go. Plus annuals 3 and 4. So, yeah, not much to say with these two omnibuses. Story's good, just basically weird wrap up has weird endings to these runs. Okay, so that's it in particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Next up, Walmart Comic Corner is back to Hurricane, okay? Next view. Bye.